right, good evening, everybody. City of Clear Lake Shores City Council regular meeting, February 15th, 2022 at 6:30. All of the City Council is here. We have a full quorum. So item number 2, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the Texas flag. Alright, so first off, we were supposed to give a big kudo presentation to Angie Galvan for her Texas Registered Municipal Clerk recertification, but she was unable to make it tonight, so we'll either reschedule that or cancel it. But if you do see her, congratulate on that. It's a big feat for her to do that and maintain that registration. Reports from Council, Councilman Steve Wirtes.
Just a great big thank you to everybody for the fantastic man cakes. It was I think it was a tremendous success. Seemed like a lot of people attended.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wirtes. Councilman Rick Fisher.
Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher. Councilwoman Monica Leday.
Nothing to report at this time.
Thank you, Ms. Leday. Councilman Alex Scanlon.
The Waterfront Compliance Committee met last week, appointed a new chair, and we're going to appoint someone else to it tonight.
All right, thank you, Mr. Scanlon. And Councilman Randy Cronster.
Nothing to report for roads and drainage. Thomas is here. He'll talk about that. I was going to give kudos to our fire department and first responders. I had to call an ambulance for my father last week, and they were here within 5 minutes. So that was awesome.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Cronster. Just a couple of things from mayor reports. One, great job by Doug Whitmarsh and the whole team for the outstanding man cakes, and I think it was well attended. Just an announcement, upcoming Cajun Day on February 26th. Lots going on with a 5K run, walk, golf cart parade, finishing with a gumbo cook-off at Okies with live Zydeco music. What more can you ask for? Just an FYI on some sales tax revenues holding around 9 or 10% more than last year. Kind of goes along with our current inflation. And then there is some positions still open on committees consisting of 2 for planning and zoning and 1 for alternate for ZBOA. Also, the 60th anniversary sale of merchandise is underway and will be at most events and coming online for orders soon too. Early voting for state elections is underway, so get out there and vote, please. And reminder, city election submittals for council positions ends this Friday at 5 p.m. And lastly, we are still accepting donations for at City Hall for the Galveston Food Bank, so I appreciate anything that you donate there. And either myself or Brent make runs up there and bring all that food up there, and they love every bit of it. They gave us a big count of how much we gave for last year, and it was a pretty enormous amount. That's all I have. Next is staff reports. Item 5, Police Department, Chief Keel.
Good evening, Council, citizens. Have a couple of items real quick. The Yachty Gras will take place on Saturday. There's a captain's meeting I have to be at Lakewood Yacht Club. That's at 9:30 on Saturday morning, and then I'll get more details on the start time. It's usually around 7 o'clock, 6:30 or 7 o'clock when they leave out of the marina over there. Somebody else may have more information on that than I have so far, but and then again, I'll touch on the February 26th. It's kind of an all-day event for Clear Lake Shores for the cook-off, golf cart parade, and all the events at Okies are in the courtyard up there. As of today, I have filed our annual mandated racial profiling report with the state of Texas. It has been submitted and accepted by the state. By law, I have to go over that report with you, so I hope you brought a pillow. There's not much exciting to report about it. But based on the Sandra Bland Act that was passed through the House and Senate, and mandates by the state through TCOLE, we have to file this report annually about our activities as a police department. So I'm going to go over the must numbers. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them for you. There's a lot of percentages that really don't mean a lot unless you're looking at the whole report. It is available for under open records. If someone wanted to get a copy of it, they could have it. I don't know what they do with it, but I'm going to go over the numbers that I have to go over with. In 2021, from January the 1st at midnight 01 through 12/31/2021 at 11:59:59, the total traffic stops conducted by the Clear Lake Shores Police Department is 2,779. It breaks it down to city streets, county roads, parking lots, private property. 2,768 were on city streets, 1 was on a county road, and 10 were on private properties. And that alludes to the location of the violation, not necessarily where the stop occurred. On 46 occasions, the race of the driver was known before the stop was made. 2,733 occasions the race was not known. Under races, the numbers compile as follows. Alaskan Native or American Indians were stopped on 17 times. Asian or Pacific Islanders 35 times. Black 305 times. White 2,188 times. And Hispanic or Latino 234 times. Those are state tags or labels for the ethnicities or races that we stopped. Under gender, 962 were female. 4 of those Alaskan Native or American Indians. 13 were Asian or Pacific Islanders. 110 were black. 774 were white, and 61 were Hispanic or Latino. Under male, 1,817 were male drivers. 13 were Alaska Native or American Indians. 22 were Asian Pacific Islanders. 195 were black. 1,414 were white, and 173 were Hispanic or Latino. The reason for the stop, 33 occasions were violation of law. And I don't have to break those down to you in those other categories. 103 were stops made based on pre-existing knowledge. 1,780 were moving traffic violations. 863 were vehicle traffic violations. For searches conducted, 243 times vehicles were searched. Those break down based on the same percentages as before, but I don't have to read each one of them out to you. 2,536 times traffic stops were conducted and no search occurred. Under reasons for search, on 120 occasions of the above listed searches, consent was given for the search. 6 times there was contraband in view, which led to the search. 106 times there was probable cause to make the search. 8 times the search was conducted during an inventory. And 3 searches were conducted pursuant to an arrest. On 159 occasions, contraband was discovered. 84 times contraband was not discovered. 92 times drugs were discovered. 9 times weapons were discovered. No occurrences where currency was discovered, and that means currency that would be a seizable or forfeitable amount. 15 times alcohol was discovered, 4 times stolen property was discovered, and 39 times other was listed as a discovery. We gave 1,057 verbal warnings. We gave 17 written warnings, 1,624 citations. There were no written warnings with an arrest. On 19 occasions, there was a citation and an arrest. 62 times, there was just an arrest. And those arrests were made based on 58 times was a violation of the penal code, 23 times were violations of traffic law, 0 times was a violation of city ordinance, 0 times was just based on an outstanding warrant. During all of those traffic stops, 2,799, there was 6 occasions where force was used during the arrest. 2,773 times there was no force used during the arrest or during the stop. Under number of complaints made by citizens who were stopped by the Clear Lake Shores Police Department complaining of racial profiling, we had 0 complaints. 0 resulted in disciplinary actions, obviously, and 0 did not result in disciplinary action. And we used the T-Code auto-generated analysis when filing this report. I know all that sounds like gibberish, but those are the things that I have to report to City Council, just like I reported to T-Cole. And I have a breakdown of all of the percentages of who is what all those numbers mean, and that is also available through the Open Records Act, or Freedom of Information Act. Do you have any questions? Anybody need to be woke up? I've been doing that for the last couple days, so it's done. Questions?
Nope. Thank you, Chief Keel. It's a lot of good work there, and a lot of paperwork to go through, I'm sure. All right, building official Kevin Harrell.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. You have my report in front of you, but I'll be brief. It's been a little slow in the building department, only 8 permits issued. I still have 8 homes going up and 3 pools. Galveston Bay Brewing Company continues with their construction. I have 2 code cases. They refer to dilapidated fences. Still have 56 waterfront cases, and I will be bringing a junked vehicle to your attention in the next coming meeting. Any questions?
Thanks, Mr. Harrell. Next is Clear Lake Shores Kemah Volunteer Fire Department. Chief's not here tonight. No report. Next is Galveston County Health District, Amy Weber, not present. No report. And City Administrator Brent Spear. He's here, ready to report.
Ready to report and probably lose my voice for the rest of the meeting. Good evening, everyone. You do have my written report, but some of the highlights, we'll be having court tomorrow virtually, and court streamlined some processes with a software package called PandaDoc that allows things to be signed electronically, and it's really improved the efficiency not only of the court, but we're looking for ways to incorporate it into our other user services. So look for some changes to be coming. On Shell Bottom Park, I need to meet with him. They are working on the permit right now, filling in the blanks on that permit. I haven't seen the final drawing, but I will get a hold of him and get a copy in preparation for the park committee on Monday. Daniel Dror, we have an item that's further down on the agenda, but I don't know if you've had opportunity to go over there and look at it. It's kind of quiet right now, and they're waiting on materials to come in, so when they kind of attack the 518 crossover. They can do that one swoop, not have it opened up. The I think Plaza 10, I did give the okay, notice to proceed to start with the elevation, the survey for that area. We have 3 potential outfalls for some drainage, and they're going to take care of that. Plaza 10 did approve that expenditure a few months ago. The backhoe is almost complete. I'm excited to have that. It came in under budget, but not as great as I thought, as they replaced the obviously rotting hoses and things, and when they fired it up, we found other ones. So basically every hose has been replaced on that hydraulic system. Cylinders have been reworked and or replaced, and it's got a complete fluid change. I saw a picture from 60 feet away. It looks really good. Everyone's going to think we spent a lot more money on it. And the actual vendor is excited because I think it's going to appear in some promotional materials. So maybe I can get a, City of Clear Lake Shores at the bottom of it. I anticipate should be here possibly this week. Was the last he'd heard, depending on their delivery schedule. We had a problem here at the clubhouse that required rework of some electrical. This building is old, obviously. The rigors of modern technology on some of its components takes a toll, but we had a problem with a breaker on a furnace and had that replaced the next day. And I think everything else you're going to hear about further down in the agenda. Are there any specific questions I can answer? Thank you.
Thanks, Brent. Next is item 6, committee reports, Parks and Pool.
I don't have a lot to report tonight. December and January we were dealing with Christmas decorations, and our regular meeting would have been last night, but we postponed it due to Valentine's Day. So it's been rescheduled for this coming Monday, which is President's Day, and we thank Brent for agreeing to come back and do our meeting. In checking on the parks, which we still do, some reported damage at Grove Park. It was hard to tell how it really could have happened, but I did report that to Brent. And we've had requests to fill in the hole at the top of the boat ramp with gravel. We were waiting on a backhoe to be repaired, and I didn't get a chance to ask you if that has occurred.
No, it should be coming back possibly this week.
Okay, because I hadn't seen it, so I figured you'd let me know. So I'll have more after the report next time after our meeting. But I did want to mention that with testing, there's a very, very high bacterial count in the waters over here. And I'll get a better report from that at our meeting from one of our committee members that happens to do that. So that's all I've got. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. Next is roads and drainage.
Well, we have you got a comprehensive list that Richard very kindly made, and I'm not going to dwell on everything that's on here, but one thing we're working on is to get somebody to shoot elevation of our ditches and find out how we are building a new drainage plan essentially. The one we have is out of date, and nobody knows if it's actually working like it is because it's piecemeal. Which includes what we're going to talk about tomorrow on roads and drainage, which is the right-of-ways, and if any routes or anything is in the way, we need to basically figure out how it's going to work. We also have very good experience with pavement services that has done some patchwork for us here lately, and we're working as recommended by Randy over here, that we find somebody to work with that we can make the process easier. we have a hard time finding people that can do our work at a reasonable price. And when we find someone, we need to, see if we can get them to do more for us. We also, regarding the right-of-way, we are doing a bigger work there to figure out how to rewrite or amend potentially our ordinance to make it something that can work. This year we also plan to do Blue Point Road and Narcissus for repavement. It's going to be one of them is going to be more work than the other, but it's all in process, so we think we can get it done this year. Yep. That's it.
Thanks. Oh, any question? Oh, bless you. Thanks, Tom. All right, next is Zoning Board of Adjustments. Mr. Michalski.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. There is a meeting coming up of Zoning Board of Adjustments on March the 7th at 7 p.m. We've received 2 requests for public hearing. One is on a property at 711 West Shore. The request is for green space. Second property is at 325 West 6th Street, and that is commercial. The request is for signs. So that is a public hearing for those 2. Will be 7 o'clock in this building, March 7th. The planning and zoning, there has been no meetings scheduled nor in the past recently, so nothing to report on. Thank you. Any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Michalski. All right, next is Waterfront Compliance Committee.
We met, as I said earlier. Doug Whitmarsh is the new chair. We're planning a walk of the island in May, 6 months after our last one. Not a whole lot has changed there. The waterfront leases are coming up on their 10-year renewal, so anyone that currently has one needs to alert the city. I'm going to try to remember this right, that they wish to continue it 6 months prior to it expiring, which is January 1st, 2023, so that's coming up quickly. The committee, and myself and council will be having some workshops to, I think, update the lease terms, to tweak a couple things regarding the numbers and whose responsibility it is to maintain those, and those will be open meeting workshops if anyone wants to attend, but we have to have that done here in the next few months to get the leases out to the citizens.
Thanks, Alex.
Question. With regard to the renewal of the leases, will the residents that own a lease be notified that they have to confirm their intention, or do they need to do it on their own?
I believe we're going to have the city send something out on the Blackboard program and on Facebook and through several different social media platforms to alert everyone, and I don't know, maybe a letter. That was something that was discussed. I'm sure we'll work through that at the workshop.
We will not mail a reminder to you, but we'll roll it out on social media. It's also part of the agreement. It's written into the agreement, so it probably gets lost at about page 13, I think, in that 14-page document.
So when you say social media, you're referring to like
Facebook,
any emails or anything like that, or not?
I'm sorry?
Email?
No,
Okay.
we're not set up for the email.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Brent, I think we can send out a card or something.
Yeah.
Just regular mail, not certified.
Yeah, I hadn't considered just a postcard. That makes perfect sense, and think it would be worth that. So thanks for suggesting that. We're also banking on the fact that in 10 years, either their address hasn't changed or they haven't failed to notify us. So those are some things that we encounter when we go through that sometimes. So if we have a good record of an address, we can certainly arrange that.
They make their payments every year.
Yeah, but the payment for that might be on a check. It might be different from their actual mailing address. We don't capture all those. Might come from a different company or the actual bank.
All right, next is looks like item 7, Civic Club, Mrs. South.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. As everyone spoke about earlier, we had man cakes on Saturday, which was another great event. We sold 331 plates. Don't have the numbers as far as how that compares to the years previous, but I know that they, again, sold out of food. Our next big event is going to be on February 26th, which is the Cajun Day. We'll have the 5K run. We'll also have the golf cart parade. Then we'll have the gumbo cook-off up at Okies. That'll run through the end of the day. We'll also be selling the 60th anniversary merchandise there. We'll have a table there as well. And we're also still looking for volunteers, and I have been sending out on social media, and we've been doing email blast for the sign-ups for anyone that wants to volunteer for that day of events.
Yeah, so Scully needs some help with all that. Thank you. Next is Adri with the CLS 60th Anniversary Celebration Committee.
Yes. So we are very excited. We're moving forward with all the preparations for the celebration. We finally have the new website, clx60.com, so that residents can buy promotional items and tickets online. And they can also see there all the information about upcoming events about the 60th anniversary. Also, the first video of the Stories of CLS, it should be ready next week. And it's a surprise. It's a very interesting interview that I did, so I'm very excited. Also, this Friday, the committee is going to meet to discuss our next event that is going to be on April 30th, Picnic at Jarbo. And also, calendars are ready for sale. Already, the committee sold a few at Man Cakes, and they are ready to sell more items at the Gumbo Cook-Off on the 26th. And they are ready to order more promotional material like T-shirts, hats, and cups, and mugs, koozies, so that they can start selling them as well.
All right. Thanks, Adri. Next is item 9, Economic Development Corporation. No report. All right. Next is item 10, public comments. At this time, any person with city-related business may speak to the City Council. Topic of discussion must be consistent with an item listed on the agenda. In compliance with the Texas Open Meeting Act, City Council may not deliberate. Comments from the public should be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes per individual. Open for public comments at this time. Having none? Oh, sorry.
Mark Atherton, 1034 South Shore. I did send a letter to City Council expressing some opinions and concerns about the off-island event associated with 60th anniversary activities. I did get a response. I appreciate the response from those. I would like to say, though, I've talked to a lot of people, and by and large, I am concerned about whether you're going to be able to get enough people to make that self-funding. I didn't get an answer about what would happen with the funds if it could not be self-funding. And I was a little bit disappointed when I found out after the fact that we'd already put a deposit down and committed the city to something, and City Council, all of City Council, did not have a chance to vote on that. So I'm just raising that as a concern. I don't think it was necessarily, it doesn't seem like it was a very transparent process. So I hope City Council will take a look at that.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? Having none, item number 11, scheduled visitor, Miss Carrie Kelly, coming in here to talk to us about Community Resource Assistant League of the Bay Area. 20 minutes.
Hi there. Is this on? Can you hear me? Carrie Kelly, 150 Rosewood, and I am a member of Assistance League of the Bay Area. And I wanted to just come by, talk to city leadership, talk to citizens as part of our outreach for the chapter, and to try to just raise awareness on what the Assistance League does. We are one chapter in a nationwide organization, and there's 120 chapters across the country. Ours is the Clear Lake Bay Area chapter. We have about 180 members in our Clear Lake chapter. We have all volunteers, by the way. It's 100% volunteers, no paid staff. And we also have about 200 teen volunteers that's in a auxiliary membership program with Assistance League. High schoolers that have their own programs that support Assistance League. It's a nonprofit 501c3 organization. It's been around since the 30s nationwide. We've had a chapter since '94, and we get funding from different sources. One is my favorite, which is the resale shop. We have this great resale shop in Webster on Nassau Road 1, and we have all these great items at great prices, and we get a lot of donations actually from people here in Clear Lake Shores, but from all over. Then we also have a really strong grant and fundraising foundations committee that goes around to corporations, to everywhere to try to find funding. I first heard about Assistance League when I worked at Boeing, and we've been a corporate sponsor for years of the Assistance League, this local chapter. So I wanted to raise awareness, bring it here to the leaders, and kind of try to think of ways that we might be able to help, but also just to bring awareness of what it does for the community. And it's a philanthropic organization, and there's 6 programs that they have, and they're all around helping kids and adults in our community. And it's really providing essential needs for kids and adults. One program that I volunteer for is called Operation School Bell, and we provide essential clothes for kids in the area that don't have clothes to go to school. We work with the 8 school districts from Galveston, Clear Creek, Friendswood, LaPorte, Deer Park, and we have kids identified by the counselors that don't have clothes to go to school, just essential clothes. So this year, the program runs from August to May, and we've turned into a personal shopping organization, our volunteers. Because of COVID, the kids can't come in and pick it out. So we get these shopping lists from the organization, and we go to Target, Kohl's, and Walmart, and we shop for just the essentials: a pair of jeans, a pair of tennis shoes, a few shirts, socks, underwear, and a jacket. So since August, we have delivered clothes for 2,053 kids in this area, and we still have until May to shop. And it's really rewarding, and it's the hardest I've ever worked, is to figure out how to fill these shopping lists for these kids when you're running through Kohl's or whatever. But you know, these kids get the bags delivered to the school, and they get families come and pick them up, and then they have something to start school in. And it's really rewarding. We also help kids and families that have had some kind of tragedy or problem, like their house burned down, or we had a grandmother that got 5 of her grandkids because her daughter passed away from COVID, and they didn't have any clothes, anything. So we'll do some of those emergency runs as well. But it's really a great program. We also help provide referrals for these kids. So we have partnerships with NASA Vision Center for eye exams, Cindy Castile, a dentist here. She provides dental treatments. I think last year we had 38 kids that went through her dental office for help. And then for the adult side of things, we do a couple things. One is we help adults that are getting back in the workforce. So we work with United Way, Bridge Over Troubled Water, and some other agencies for people that need an outfit to go on an interview, right? Or the first couple days of work, they need something to wear. So we we let them come in the store, they shop, they find an outfit, and it's really great to see their confidence level, you know, once they've got suitable clothes to wear, or we'll take them to Kohl's or whatever. So the other thing for adults is we have assault survivor kits, and we work with local PDs and hospitals, shelters to get people outfitted if they've had some kind of sexual assault or domestic violence. We get their clothes and we help them for the first couple days when they're going through that. So I could talk forever about this. I love to shop. I love to help people. So I volunteer in the resale shop. If you haven't been, it's great. It's a really nice place. So what we can do as a as a city is we can certainly ask for people to join. You know, we're always looking for volunteers. You can donate your goods, spring cleaning, bring your stuff to the resale shop. But also individual contributions and donations would be great. And ask your employer if they do gift matching or any of that kind of stuff. So anything we might do with the city would be terrific. I just wanted to raise awareness about that. I've got the annual report and some little cards that show where the shop is if anybody's interested.
Well, we appreciate you coming out. It's a very good organization, and thank you for your volunteering time. And a reminder for the group too, a lot of companies that you work for, sometimes they'll match whatever you donate. So, thank you.
I have a quick question regarding that. Did you say there's students in our immediate area that need? Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, I'll be in touch with you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 12, new business. Council have any item A you want to pull from consent agenda? Having none, any objection to the consent agenda? Item A, having none, consent agenda is accepted. Item 13, council business discussion and possible action may be taken on the following items. Item A is resolution 2022-03, Galveston County Mosquito Control Program. Mr. Spear.
This is an annual resolution that, since they fly over and do vectoring for those pesky mosquitoes, that the city needs to participate in that. I believe the actual letter is in your packet. So I'd recommend approval of that. There's no cost to the city for this service.
I'll motion to approve resolution 2022-03 for the Galveston County Mosquito Control Program.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Scanlon, second by Ms. Day. Any discussion? Having none, all in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion passes. Item B, resolution 2022-04, resolution of the City of Clear Lake Shores, Texas, designating the Galveston County Daily News as official newspaper for the City of Clear Lake Shores, Texas, and establishing an effective date of January 1, 2022. Mr. Spear.
Again, this is an annual requirement. State print media is important in posting notices in the newspaper. Galveston County Daily News is the chosen paper for us, and I would recommend approval of this resolution.
Motion to approve resolution 2022-04 with all of the text following.
I second.
Motion on item B by Mr. Scanlon, second by Ms. Day. Any discussion?
Is this the paper we've been using all this
yes,
time?
it's the same paper.
No further discussion after that. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Having none, motion passes. Item C, appointment of one member to the Waterfront Compliance Committee due to the vacancy left by Don Milbar resignation. Term will expire 9/30/22. Mr. Spear.
This is what we call a short circuit opportunity. It's not a very long time on waterfront compliance. I believe you have two persons that sent their applications in and applied, and I just recommend that you fill the vacancy. I do not have any input other than that.
Make a motion to appoint Craig Ramsey to the Waterfront Compliance Committee.
A second.
Motion for Mr. Ramsey to be appointed to the WCC. And a motion by Rick, Mr. Fisher, and a second by Ms. O'Day. Any discussion?
I received an email today from Mr. Doug Whitmarsh, the chair of the Waterfront Compliance Committee, asking or suggesting that we appoint both candidates to a total of 6, and I told him I'd share that with council today. I don't know if that email made it to everyone or not, if it was a blind copy, but I received that message today.
Can we do that?
I don't believe so. I think it's held to 5 members.
It's set by ordinance. It would require revision of the ordinance in order to allow that.
You want me to check? Hmm? Maybe. I pulled up Waterfront. Waterfront compliance. It's an ad hoc committee, but it is defined with an audit, with a, ordinance. Waterfronts Comply Committee, Section 2-141. Shall consist of 5 members. Oops. Hold on. Trying to make my screen bigger. Sometimes. There it is. Consists of 5 members who shall serve terms of 2 years from the date of appointment by majority vote of City Council. So, we're held to the 5. So any further discussion? No, that's good. No further discussion. All in favor, aye. Any opposed, nay. Having none, motion passes. Item number D, approval of change order number 1 for the Daniel Drawer Avenue project. Mr. Spear.
This is a change order. This is a Galveston County project done through a grant with City of Clear Lake Shore, City of Kemah, and the county. The county has allotted and budgeted $950,000 for the total project, with any cost overruns to be paid by CLS. And we got we actually are partnering with Galveston County because there was we had to purchase right-of-way for this project to help connect our city. And that came about because the property owner that had a plan and a potential buyer where he was going to sell a large portion of it, that fell through at the last minute. So what we've been working on for at least a couple of years, he was unable to just deed that over to us. So this is the total costs on Galveston County, and I don't anticipate any further changes. Say that, and we'll see what happens. But they've had a total change order number of $14,135. A lot of that was chewed up by filling up the balance that was left on the $950,000, and that remaining balance payable by CLS is $2,716. And that's, I think, very reasonable given the quality of work, and they're staying on top of it, and they're managing that project for us. But I anticipated having, I said it before, great dividends for the city. So I'd recommend approving this change order.
I make a motion to approve the change order number 1 for Daniel Drawer Avenue project.
I will second the motion.
Motion by Ms. Ledet, second by Mr. Wurtis. Any discussion?
Yeah, as
I have
far
a
as...
question.
Oh, go ahead, Randy.
Rick. Sorry about that.
I have to say, as far as the funding for this is this coming out of what we have already put towards that project, or?
No, that was already handled in the previous budget year. I believe that this expenditure probably should come under government under additional contracts under road and drainage.
Okay.
And pull it out of that budget.
All right.
Yeah, if I understand correctly, roads and drainage is inheriting Daniel Drawer Avenue once it's complete, so more expense for us.
No further.
My question was gonna be, is that just our portion, or is KEMA putting in anything, do you know?
I don't know if KEMA's put anything in, but this was the change order for us.
Yeah.
It was of the understanding when we did this that we were going to do cost share with the county.
Yeah, looking at the change order, it looks like we're only funding a portion of it, so KEMA's probably funding some, and Galveston County is picking up the other chunk.
You're welcome.
No further discussion? Alright, all in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed, nay? Having none, motion passes. Item E is executive session pursuant to Texas Local Government Code Section 551.072, authorizing a government body to deliberate in executive session on certain matters concerning real property. The governmental body may conduct a closed meeting to deliberate the purchase or exchange, lease, or value of real property, and if deliberation in an open meeting would have detrimental effect on the position of the governmental body, negotiations with a third person, acquisition of real estate. At this time, at 7:17, we'll go into recess.